Welcome everybody. So this is solving one variable linear inequalities part 3, right? This is 7.3. So this one we want to learn how to write and solve one variable linear inequalities with variables on both sides, given a real world application, right? So we're involving solving equations, inequalities, and constructing functions. Here we can look at some mobile phones. When cell phones became popular back in 2000, people had to purchase a text messaging plan. Back then, a company offered two messaging plans to choose from, right? So you're given plan A, monthly fee of $5 plus 10 cents per text. Plan B, $10 and then 5 cents per text. So it's like last time, we wrote it out. So it's already written out in words for you. So you can just write out what the cost is, right? So plan A cost is going to be $5 plus 10 cents per text, so 0.10 per text. So like remember, per text, per hour, per day, that's what you're multiplying by, right? So per text, we can make t, and we define our variables, right? T is equal to number of texts. So that's plan A cost, 5 plus 0.10 t. And then plan B, similar, right? We have 10 plus 0.05 per text, so t. So those are our costs of both of our plans. And this part C is when is plan A cheaper? Right, so when is plan A cheaper? In other words, if plan A is cheaper, then plan A should be less than plan B. Right, so we're looking at our steps here. So we're creating an equation for each situation. Define your variables, we did that. Set up the inequality. Remember, less than or equal to using these symbols, greater than or equal to using these symbols. Okay, so we want to set up plan A is less than plan B because plan B is cheaper. So we do plan A, plan B. And we want it to be less than, right? Plan A is less than plan B. So plan A was 5 plus 0.10 text. And then plan B was 10 plus 0.05 per text. So we just set up our equations, wrote up our inequalities, and now we're going to solve it. So solve the inequality and answer the question. And remember, always word problems, you need units. So we want to solve this. Okay, the trick is to keep track of our inequality sign. We're always going to get rid of the variable on the right. Right, so we're going to subtract 0.05 t to both sides first, because we want to get rid of the one on the right so we don't end up with mixed inequalities where we have to flip it at the end. Right, so we get 0.05, subtract that, so we end up with 5 plus 0.05 t is less than 10. Then we're going to subtract 5 to both sides. So 0.05 t is less than 5. And then divide by our coefficient. T is less than, so 5 divided by 0.05 is going to be 100. And that's our solution. So t is less than 100. And then you figure out what does that mean in words, right? So when is plan A cheaper? Less than 100 texts. Plan A is going to be cheaper. So if you use less than 100 texts, plan A. If you use more than 100 texts, plan B. Okay, so once we saw the first one, so plan A is cheaper when you use less than 100 texts. So when is plan B cheaper, right? Must be the opposite, right? So plan B is cheaper when you use more than 100 texts. So when text is greater than 100. Greater than 100 texts. Okay, and when are they the same? Obvious, at 100. So t equals 100 would be the same. right? So both are equal at 100 ticks. Okay, pretty straightforward. So you set up your equations, set up your inequality, and then solve your variable. Right, so let's go on here. So keep in mind right here, this is important. Adding and subtracting the variable on the right first helps keep track of the direction of the variable sign. So do that first. Add, subtract whatever's on the right, your variable on the right. And remember, we have to flip the inequality if we swap or multiply by a negative to both sides. Okay, so remember that.